Mackey Motors in Lake City is the place to find new and certified used vehicles. With a knowledgeable sales staff and amazing service departments, you'll drive away satisfied. Find new roads at Mackey Motors in Lake City, MackeyMotors.com.
Jeff Legman joined here today by the Carroll Girls at Distance Medley Relay Team. Of course, we're here at the Carroll Co-Ed track meet. We're going to start with Marasyn Wittrock, who opened things up here today. How did things go for you here today?
At the beginning, I felt really good getting out of the blocks. I really got a good push. And then I think I maintained the same speed pretty much for the whole 200. I didn't feel as dead at the end as I usually do, so that was a good sign.
Is it just from running enough 200s this year that you're in 200 shape right now, or what do you attribute that strength to?
Yeah, being in the 4x4 a lot has definitely helped because the 200 is only half the distance. So I think if I can run a good 400, then I'm pretty set for the 200s too.
Was this one of your better starts out of the blocks this year, do you think?
Yeah, I'd say so. I tried to keep my drive phase longer and really stay lower before I came up. So it's pretty good.
What do you like running with this group? It seems like a really good group to run with.
Yeah, it's just really competitive. We obviously like to win, so we push each other to be the best versions of each other, so that's really helpful.
How close is this group being to where you can be this year?
We are 10 seconds away from our best, but that's really easy to cut off, so I think that we can get there by the end of the season.
Some nicer weather for a track meet probably would help there.
Yeah, definitely.
You mentioned the handoff went well. Has that been a strength for you this year so far with Aubrie?
Usually if we practice, they're pretty good.
If you practice, is that something you don't always get a chance to do?
Yeah, sometimes we have to rush, so we don't always get to practice as many times as we'd probably like to, but it always just works out in the end.
Well, Marasyn, great job out here. Appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
You bet. Let's move over now to Aubrie Schmitt, who ran the second leg of the distance medley, the other 200 here. How'd you feel out here today?
I also agree with Marasyn. I felt I ran a pretty good pace, getting a little tired at the end. I felt we had good handoffs on each end with Marasyn and Averi. So.
How quickly did you get out with your handoff after Marasyn?
I say pretty fast. It was a pretty smooth handoff.
Do you like running that curve there on the 3-4
I do.
curve?
Curves are actually my favorite to run.
What is it about the curves that you like?
I like the feeling of just leaning and it makes me feel faster running on the curves.
Take me through the back stretch of the straightaway here. How'd you feel coming down the straightaway?
It feels a lot longer than usual. I mean, I feel like I push myself and then I get a little tired. So I could work on that a lot.
Did the wind impact you at all today?
I don't think the wind was really a big deal. No, sometimes it is, which is hard, but today it felt pretty good.
What do you think the strength in the 200 is for you?
Probably right away, like right after I get my hand off, coming right off that and just running right off.
Is the 200 your favorite race to be in?
No, actually, it's the 100.
It is?
Yeah.
What do you like about the 100s?
I feel a lot faster. I feel like that's my pace, that I can move that the fastest and carry that out rather than a 200.
What do you got coming up?
I have a 4x1 and a 4x4.
Oh, back to back. Well, best of luck closing out the track meet tonight.
Thank you.
You bet. Let's move over now to Averi Burke, who ran the 400 here today. How'd you feel?
I felt pretty good. The first straightaway was kind of rough. The wind started to pick up a little bit. So I just tried to tuck my head and run as best as I could. Sometimes I run better in the wind, so we'll see what my split is after this, if that was the case today.
It was cool earlier tonight. It seems like now the sun's out, it's warming up a little bit. How were you able to stay warm and stretched out for this race?
Yeah, it was really cold in the beginning, so we were definitely huddled under blankets earlier, but don't tell Christensen we did that. But after,
you just did.
But after when the sun started coming out and we started warming up for everything, it really helped us all stretch out and get in the mood for it. I think definitely stretching, we started to shut off some layers and kind of get a good sweat going. So I think that was really helpful to keeping us all warm and ready to run.
What kind of strategy do you use to run the 400? Is it just full bore the whole way, or do you break it down into segments?
I would kind of break it down, and sometimes I'm just go as fast as you can because that's all you got to do. But sometimes when I'm really thinking before the race, I just try to take it and break it up into 200s. And once I hit the second, the start of the real 200, just to book it and give it everything I have there.
How was the handoff with Katelyn?
It was pretty good. I was really dead at the end, so I was kind of just take it. So I thought it was really well, but we can always work on that too.
How do you try to fight through that, being tired right at the end?
Sometimes I close my eyes and just try to go for it. And other times when I just see Katelyn at the end, I just like push to go faster and like, okay, like I only have 25 left and I know she'll take it from there, and I have a lot of trust in her in the 800.
Well, I tell you what, great job out here as always. Appreciate you joining us here today.
Thank you.
You bet. Let's move over now to Katelyn. And I got to ask, you kind of chuckled when she said she closes her eyes. So what was going through your mind when she said that?
Oh, I was just thinking, how does she not trip? No, she does tell me that sometimes she closes her eyes. I could never do that personally, but if it works, then I guess
do you
go with
notice
it.
that when she's handing you the baton?
Well, I noticed she like kind of does this. I thought she was just squinting, but I don't know.
So how'd you feel you ran in the 8 today after you got the baton?
Well, I think I PR'd. I mean, I think that every time, and sometimes I don't end up PRing, but I think I did today, especially since I had Denison and Atlantic to push me. They were kind of ahead of us the whole entire way, and I just kind of tried to keep up with them. They're really good. Their 800 runners are really good, so I think just keeping up with them.
Do you feel like you closed the gap on them some?
I think I really kept with them in the beginning. The first lap, I was kind of right on their tail, and then I closed it in a little bit at the start of this 200 over here, and then she kind of ended up having a good push at the end, and so they both pulled ahead. But other than that, I think I kept with them pretty well the whole way.
Did you have to change your strategy for what you normally do in the 800 with them two out in front of you today at all?
Oh yeah, I especially knew, since those two, I mean, Denison and Atlantic have incredible distance runners, so I knew that just keeping up with them would make a huge difference in our overall time. And like Marasyn said, we're still 10 seconds away, but I think that we can all work on our handoffs and get it more smooth and just gain more confidence in each other, and we can definitely break that down by the end of our season. But yeah,
What do you like about the 800?
I have to admit, I liked it a little more in middle school. But I do just like having that enough time to be able to catch up. I feel like 100s, they're like quick, like over so fast, and I just feel like in the 800 you can really set your pace and close the gap a lot easier and catch up with the people in front of you.
Well, I tell you what, great job. Go get warmed up again. Appreciate you joining us. Best luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.